Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to day 6 of the holiday card series for 2014. Today I'm using these dies from Simon Says Stamp. These are the Village dies. I designed these to be used in a specific way that I'm going to show you today. However, there are some other ways you can use these dies. So I've created a video that's over on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. And if you click on the link up in the top corner right now, it will take you directly to that video where you can see some more ideas on how to use these dies. But for now, I'm just going to line them up on some cardstock here. This is Neenah Solar White 80 pound. And I'm going to tape them down using some frog tape. It's a really low adhesive tape. It's great for painting and things like that around your house. But today I'm just having it hold down those dies onto this cardstock. And I'll use a couple different pieces of that tape. And I'll run it through my Big Shot machine, just like usual. And then I'll very, very gently peel this off. I want to make sure I don't tear the paper or tear any of that die cutting that I've already done. So all those little windows on the houses need to be popped out. So I'm going to use a Tim Holtz craft pick and just poke those out. They die cut beautifully, but they're just still stuck in the paper. So I just poked those out, and now I'm going to be cutting in between the houses and also on the edge of the cardstock. So I'm using a pencil to draw in those connecting points just to make sure I have a good idea of where I'm going to be cutting with my craft knife. And then I'll take a craft knife and just connect all of those pieces of the die cuts. And this is going to make it so all of the houses are all in one piece and it creates one big silhouette. So it just pulls away from that cardstock there. And now I have this fun die cut that I'm going to use. I'm going to be watercoloring behind the die cut, creating a really colorful sky scene. So I'm just taping down my watercolor paper. This is 5x7 Strathmore watercolor paper. Tape that to a board, and now I'm wetting it down with some water, and I'll be adding some color. So I'm going to speed up the video and add some music. So after the watercolor piece was completely dry, I peeled off all of that tape and trimmed it down. And I just wanted to get an idea of what it would look like with that die cut. So I just placed it on top just to get an idea. And I'm going to be using the Peace on Earth stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. This is another one that I designed. I'm going to use the Peace on Earth greeting that's up in the top corner. And in order to prep my watercolor paper, I put down some EK Success powder tool. And then I stamped the Peace on Earth greeting in Versamark ink. That village scene is just placed there so I can get some good spacing. and then I'll remove that village scene while I do the embossing. So I'm sprinkling on some Hero Arts white embossing powder, tapping off the excess, and then heat setting that with my heat tool until it is completely melted. The card base I'm using today is 110 pound Neenah Solarite. I'm using that cardstock in particular because I want the white to match the white of the village scene and also the white of the card base. So I scored that at 4 1/4 so that it would create a landscape top folding card. Then I took my craft sheet and put my watercolor piece down and taped it down, and then also taped the Simon Says Stamp Falling Snow stencil. I'm going to be using some embossing paste on this today. And I wanted to do the embossed greeting before I added the embossing paste so that I could sort of move around that greeting area and not put any of the snowflakes on top of the greeting. So I'm making sure that I go around these edges really carefully. I want to make sure I don't get any embossing powder on top of that Peace on Earth greeting. So I put that all around, and then I'll be scraping off the excess and putting it back into the jar. Embossing paste does start to dry pretty quickly, so you do want to work pretty quickly as you're adding it to your project, but it doesn't dry so quickly that you can't scrape off the excess and put it back into the jar. So I peeled off that mask, and I'm left with this really pretty snow scene around the greeting. I think this sort of looks like it could be Northern Lights. You know, if you were up in Alaska or anything like that, I think it looks really pretty with all those colors. So while the embossing paste was drying, I had adhered some foam tape to the back of that village piece. I also trimmed down the watercolor piece a little bit more and rounded the top corners with a 1/2 inch corner rounder using my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. I adhered that down to the card base, and then I peeled off the backing off all of that foam tape and place the village scene on top. As you adhere the village scene down, you can kind of move those trees around just a little bit to make sure that they're standing up straight. So if they don't stay in place when you're die cutting, you can move those just a little bit. And that finishes the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back on Monday for day 7 of the holiday card series. Until then, thanks for watching. Once again, thank you so much for watching today's video and for watching the holiday card series. This was day 6, and I have 5 more videos for you to check out, and they're all day 6 videos from the previous years of the holiday card series. So please check any of those out if you'd like. And like I said before, I will be back on Monday with day 7 of the holiday card series. Until then, you can check me out at my blog at kwarnerdesign.com. You can also hit that subscribe button in the top corner, and I would greatly appreciate a big thumbs up down below if you have a chance. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.